the rain's starting to pick up. I can't cover that one, my tarp's not big enough, but we're just gonna let it ride. See how it turns out tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Look at that. It is May 21st. It's a very rainy day today. It's been raining pretty hard for a few hours. We had some clogged gutters, so that was a lot of fun. Found out that if you have second-story gutters and you end up trying to get them unclogged, it's not as easy as you would think. So what we did with this actually is we went ahead and we tried snaking it from the bottom, leaf blowing it from the bottom. None of that worked. What we ended up actually doing was going to that second-story window, opening it, and then I stuck like a bent, it was actually an old curtain rod that I had bent, and stuck it right down in there, and it was like flushing a toilet. So these have been working a lot better for us, because otherwise these get full up top, and then water tends to come down the front, splash up onto the side of the house, and be something that we don't want. Oh my goodness. Look at that. That was empty before, so we got about 3 inches today. That's quite a bit of rain. I don't remember, it's been a while since we had gotten this much rain. We've been kind of droughty the last couple of years. So I actually came out here to talk about the garden, of course, in the rain. And I just wanted to say that I think a lot of people give really good advice, and I use a lot of the advice, but sometimes you just gotta listen to what you believe is the best choice. Next, I think you gotta sometimes just not overcomplicate things, because I could have done everything right and put hours and hours of research in, and planned and done everything, and then I could come out here the next day and find these buried in water. And then what, right? You just took all that time to plant these and research which varieties to use, and then it could all be gone in a really bad storm. So my advice is to not overcomplicate it, I mean, research is fun, don't get me wrong, I love learning, I'm never gonna stop learning. But sometimes you just gotta go out and do it, and, instead of learning before you do it, learn after you do it, learn after you fail, because you're gonna fail no matter how much research you do. Sometimes things just don't work. So that's my life tip, garden advice for today. Just have fun with it, If it's not something that's fun, then, I think you're doing it wrong, because gardening is a lot of fun. I really like to take my hands off when I, mix the dirt, so I can really feel it. Or when I'm planting or putting seeds in, I want to feel that dirt. It's just something that connects you with nature and gives you a moment to just really be in that moment with how you're feeling, be outside under some tree coverage, and a day like today, just get rained on for an hour while you unclog your gutters. Can't recall if I have done this before, but I didn't look this up. This might not be how you're supposed to do it, but it's raining really heavy, and Sandcastles 101 just made me think, oh, maybe I could dig a spot next to it so we could direct some of that water away. So the idea is that these spots fill up not so close to the roots, so the roots aren't drowning. And then the roots will have to reach out to get that water. We'll see how this does. If it keeps up raining, I might just go ahead and cover that before it gets too dark out. So that's what I've got for you today. We'll check back in the morning and take a look at how deep that water is. It's about 10 o'clock. It's been raining this whole time, so I'm just gonna go ahead and try to cover it with a tarp. Might not be super helpful, but it'll hopefully do something. And surprisingly, these haven't filled up with water yet. This one is, so I think it's the lower side. This one has not. So that's kind of nice, but that dirt is really, really moist. and oversaturated. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this tarp up. So the rain's starting to pick up. I can't cover that one, my tarp's not big enough, but we're just gonna let it ride. See how it turns out tomorrow. Good morning, welcome back. We had about 3.5 inches of rain last night. I ended up tarping these at about 10 last night to direct some of the rain away. Looks like we don't have any pooling, but it just kind of reminded me why wood chips are probably pretty important, so that it just kind of protects the layer of soil and doesn't wash away all the top nutrients. I'm gonna go ahead and take the tarp down and look at the plants and let them get some sun this morning. We'll see how these do a little bit later today when the sun comes out, but yeah, this soil is pretty wet, but this box is held up for, 3.5 inches of rain that we got. So we'll see how these start to look as soon as the sun shines on them later today.